Hello, are we live? Here we go. Hello, welcome. So we've got a few visitors, viewers tuning in. Can't even speak. Let's see, yeah, a few of us logging in. We will get started in a moment. Let's give people a chance to connect with the link, connect with us live. And we'll get started on this. I think it's going to be really fun. Pub sign. When I was creating the idea for this sign, I was thinking about St. Patrick's Day is coming up. And last year I did more of a traditional Irish pub sign. And I thought, what could I do this year that's a little bit different that people will like? And then I thought, well, what about a pub that's in Harry Potter? The Three Broomsticks. Why not? Yeah, so we're going to use a lot of earthy tones today. Not too many, bright rainbow colors, as is sort of my usual shtick. Welcome to Jared. He's ready to go. That's super awesome. We'll see if we can't get a few more people tuned in. My name is Chris. If we've never painted before together. And of course, we're here with Artist Palette Durham region for this acrylic tutorial today. And after we're finished live, this will remain on our channel forever. So you don't have to do it along with me. Maybe today you're just going to watch and observe and then try it on your own at a later date. You can totally do that. It'll be available forever, next year even. Maybe in future you want to do like a Harry Potter theme party and you want to make a cute sign for it. This would be perfect. You could change the text even to whatever you like. Welcome, Valerie. Getting their paint. Awesome. So we are live. I am live. But if you needed to grab anything along the way, you are able to hit pause. Pause should be, I think it's down here somewhere. Even though I'm live, you can hit pause, rewind to hear something or see something again. Magic of technology. But you can't fast forward me during the live. You will have to listen to me drone on. Unless you're watching this after the fact, then feel free to skip ahead. All right, let's go through the supplies, and if people are a little late in coming, they can still definitely catch up, especially since you can rewind. So today I'm going to do my painting on a canvas. It doesn't have to always be a canvas. It could be a lovely piece of wood, maybe paper. There are pads of paper you can buy for oil painting, acrylic painting. Paper works too. Or anything you want. Paint it on a window, paint it on a wall. I've literally seen someone take masking tape, put it in a rectangle on their wall, and then paint a painting directly on the wall. Isn't that hysterical? Why not? I've seen someone paint a painting on their husband's bare back. Not even lying. I've seen that before. It's a little odd. So any canvas, any paper. I've got some paint brushes. Let's see what I grabbed here. Something big. So I've got these two options as a big option to help me cover a lot of ground in the background quickly. So something big or even bigger, covering a lot of background right off the bat. So these will help. Then I have something kind of medium-ish. This guy, he's very useful. Also called a bright. He's kind of flat and squarish. And then I've got a couple of little guys. Some little guys to help me with the text, with, delicate little lines in the wood grain, little details. So that's what I have. You don't have to have the exact same brushes. They could be dollar store brushes. They don't specifically have to be acrylic brushes. They could be watercolor brushes. I have some paint. I'm going to do this in acrylics. but you could literally do this in any medium that you want. What about a beautiful piece in colored pencils or pastels or watercolors? Yeah, so if you're doing a different medium, take into consideration how you would normally use that medium. So if you're doing, say, colored pencils, you might do like the text first and then fill in the background after you've got the text and the kind of logo there. Yeah, watercolors, you could easily adapt to watercolors, but I'm going to use acrylics. So I've got my 5 basic colors that I always use. And if you have these 5 stocked in your house, you could make like any painting in our whole channel, our whole website with these 5 colors pretty much. I've got some black and some white. All, if not most paintings need black and white. And then I've got my 3 main primary colors, a bit of red, a bit of yellow, and a little bit of blue down here. And you might be thinking, well, in this painting, there is no blue, but we're going to use the blue to help make a little bit of brown. If you have brown paint that's already mixed in a tube or what have you, you could use brown from that pre-mixed tube. You don't have to make brown, but I'll still show you how to make brown just in case you one day find yourself without brown. But if you did have brown, that's a good color to have pre-mixed on hand. What else do I have? Optional things. Optional things. I've got some masking tape. And I'm going to use the masking tape not to mask the edges or anything, but to help me create straight lines for my text. So after I've got my background, I'll put a strip of masking tape here, sort of as a straight line guide for my text. I've got a couple of sizes of masking tape. Optional. Also optional, some kind of paint pen or marker for the text itself. Sort of a mixed media piece. You don't have to do the text in the acrylic paint. I've got a couple of Sharpies here as an option. And then I've got a couple of paint pens here by Posca, black and white. I'll probably use these to do the lettering, but you can use acrylics with a thin brush. I just find it's quite easy, more steady, more crisp to use the paint pens, but that's optional. So those are optional. I'll put them here. I did have a link to the text to use as a reference, so you can like see it like up close, closer to yourself. The link, it's in the chat right now. I put it, is the chat on this side? If you look at the live chat, there's a link to this document where you can see the text a little clearer, a little better, just for reference. Optional. You could do any font, any words you want. What else do I have? Oh, I have a ruler and a pencil. In case you don't want to do like the tape method of putting a piece of tape here, you can get a pencil and a ruler and just draw a light line where you're going to put your text. That's an option. Pencil and a ruler. And yeah, of course I have that's my cup of water, my junky cup of water for rinsing my brushes. And I've got a bit of a paint rag right here to dry my brushes. Paper towel will do nicely there. I think we're going to get ready to start. Remember, you can pause at any point to catch up, take a break, go run and grab something, feed the dog. We will get started. Let me know in the chat maybe where you're from. Maybe let me know, maybe it's your birthday today. Let me know that. If there's any kids joining us, I love knowing, maybe how old you guys are. How many of the Harry Potter books have you read? Okay, I'm going to start with one of my bigger brushes, whatever big brush you have. We're going to start with something that might sound a little crazy. We're going to paint the whole thing white. I know it's already white, but we want it to be kind of smooth and white and wet and slick to start adding our browns and grays and blacks of the wood grain. Let's get a little water on my brush. I can't, my camera only goes so high. Let's see if I can get this in the shot. Come here, you. I get my brush wet. I get some white. Up and down. We're going to go for wood grain, that the grain of the wood is up and down. So it helps if you paint your paint up and down, vertical. I get some water, I get some white, and I'm going up and down. We want this kind of slick, juicy, not thick paint, just kind of pretty thin, almost like a white wash kind of a thing. Get some white, get it going, get some more water, more white, up and down. If your brush flicks at the end, try not to flick paint in the direction of a friend or the device you're watching from. Just be a little cautious near the edges that you're not flicking paint all over the room. Even if your canvas is upright on an easel, let's say, try not to flick at the top and bottom and get people speckled. So we don't need like 100% coverage here. Let's go for like 80% coverage with the white. If there's little gappies are fine. Just we want to get something to go in, so when we start streaking in some other colors, they'll kind of glide easier. So let's see if I pick this up, can you see? You can kind of see a glare from the lights I have with the wetness. And yeah, you can kind of see I've missed some spots. There's spots I've missed. That's okay. You can try to fill the gaps, but we're adding more paint in a moment, so this is good. Maybe a little bit more water. Slosh it around. There we go. We are going to make brown next. Everyone's browns are going to be different because we're maybe using different brands in different proportions. So it's okay if your brown is lighter or darker or redder or oranger. I'm not even going to wash my brush. That's okay. I'm not going to wash it. I like to start my browns by making orange. So I'm going to grab a little red in comparison with the amount of yellow. So here's a bunch of yellow. Let's make some orange. Make quite a bit of brown because look at all the brown in this painting. Look at it all. There's some nice orange, and add little bits of red at a time so you don't go like too dark too fast. Do I want more than that? Quite a bit of orange. Look at that huge glob of orange here. I'll go a little redder. Remember, everyone's going to be different. Okay, there's the start of our orange here. Okay, I'm going to grab a little bit of blue, like a little smudge. Boop, there's a little blue. Let's mix that in. So it'll start to turn baby poop brown is what I would call it. So there's some semblance of a brown there. Let's say your brown looks a little greenish to you. Add a little more red. Mine looks a little greenish. Let's add a little red. The red kind of warms it up a little. Okay. Another thing I sometimes do is add a little black. Let's get a little dab of black. Oop, need to actually get some. There's a little bit of black. Where is it? Let's put some of that in. That helps make it a little richer. Again, everyone's brown is going to be different. Even the brown I'm mixing now is going to be different than the original brown. Okay. That's good. I like that. I'm going to kind of wipe my brush off. So it's not a huge, thick, globby gob. I'm wiping it off on the side a little bit. Valerie's asking about ochre. Yeah, ochre is kind of like a yellowy brown. That'd be lovely. All browns can be different because maybe it's a different wood. You know, maybe you're using cedar wood for this sign or something. Let's see, I'm going to add a little. See, that's quite orangey. I'm going to add a little more black. Let's try that. Again, I'm going to wipe it off a little bit. Oh yeah, that's a little more brownish. But again, any color brown. And we're going to add some blacks in here. Maybe a little more black, maybe even a little more blue. Deepen it. Oh yeah, that's good. Yeah. And see what I'm doing? I'm kind of wisping, light wisps of the brush, not thick gobs. And I want all of these brush strokes to be vertical, up and down, no side to side. And you do kind of want to let some parts be darker, lighter. We don't want to fill the whole thing. Yeah, I'm almost holding my brush horizontal with the canvas, not up like this, but almost like this, and kind of letting it drag through the wet white. And depending on how wet or dry your paint is right now, you'll get different kind of texture effects, like the canvas texture, these little bumblies. Those are fun. You can have those little bumpies, like gappies. Now I don't want to cover everything in brown. We're going to add black, we can add some gray, we can add whatever we want. But no two wooden signs will be the same. Yeah, my brush is like almost dry. I'm just kind of like emptying my brush, so to speak. And everything is like reversible. Let's say you've made too much brown on here. It's getting too dark. That's okay. You can throw some more white on there later, or just embrace a darker wooden sign. So put some brown here and there. Some darker bits. There could even be bits where it seems to just kind of chop off. It doesn't have to be all fully smooth. There could be like visible brush strokes. Those are okay. Yeah, I'd say this green is a little brighter than, or sorry, green. Brown is a little brighter. This one's a little more duller. This one, yeah, this one is kind of reminding me of ochre. A bit yellowier. Okay, I'm happy with the amount of brown for now. I'm not even going to wash my brush. I'm going to grab a little black. Just a bit of black. Again, you could dip into the black and then wipe it on the side a little bit so it's not a thick gob. Wipe it a little bit. And then add some black here and there. Now the black might mix with the white and make gray. It might mix with the brown a little bit. From the bottom up, from the top down. Yeah, almost a dry brush kind of a thing. No gobs. Don't want gobs anywhere. If you do have any thick gobby paint anywhere, just spread it out flat. This will have to dry so we can do our lettering, our logo of the 3 broomsticks. And your sign could be, let's say, maybe it's darker near the edges because maybe it's like weathered. Maybe there's some the grime of the town on the edges of the sign. Who knows? So maybe I'll add a little bit more black near the edges. but that's just me. Maybe near the side here, a little bit more black. Imagine this sign sitting in the elements. Yeah, my brush is pretty much empty, but I can still kind of drag it through and make some of the paints smear together. What about, you could streak in other colors too. What about if your wooden sign used to be red or it used to be green and it's all faded, so you can streak in some red or some green or whatever color, as if it used to be that color, but it's all faded. I'm going to get some gray going, even though some of my black and some of my white kind of made a gray. I'm going to actually add some gray. So a little bit of black, little black. Where is it? There it is. With a little white. Again, I'll wipe it on the side of my palette here just to make it less gobby. Gray. Just for funsies. You could add like a blue. It could be a bluey gray. What about some yellow? I'll even probably put in a little bit more white. Gray. Just have fun with it. And don't compare yours to mine. Don't compare yours to someone next to you, because comparison is the thief of joy. If you're having fun doing what you're doing, don't bring yourself down by looking at others and comparing. No, no. You enjoy what you're doing. Okay, a little more black. I'm going to make like a blackish brownish. Let's see what that looks like. Blackish brownish. Let's try it. I think the streakier, the better, is really what I think. You can have thinner streaks, thicker, wide ones. And this isn't even like the final coat on the wooden board sign here. We're going to do extra details like little knots. Look at this little knot thing. Here's a little knotty knot. We'll add kind of some breaks in the boards, as if boards are pieced together. So this isn't even the final look. Ooh, sometimes I dip my brush in water, and I could just streak some water, and that'll help kind of blend some colors together. That can also help fill in some gappies. A little bit of water on the brush here and there. Okay, it's looking quite woody. I might wash my brush a little and add a little bit more white, especially if maybe your sign got very dark. A little quick rinse. I mean, it's not fully clean even. A little white. Put white back in. Oh, welcome to Megan. Megan is 8. That's awesome. I love when kids join in. I love when whole families, different generations join in. Especially love, like, you know, little 3-year-old, little 4-year-old and their little version. Always adorable. A little bit of white. Again, I'm looking for any gobs. Any big gobbies, just smooth them flat. Yeah, I'm having fun. Yeah, streaky is good. And at a certain point, you just have to tell yourself, stop, that looks good. Don't mess it up. Don't add any more. It is possible to overwork it and then you kind of lose all those beautiful streakies. So I'm thinking, I think I'm kind of there. Yeah, this is a kind of like a warmer brown than, say, this one. I'm not mad at it. I'm going to give this a little rinse. Now, I think I'm done with this biggest brush for now. I think I'll use the medium brush and the smaller ones going forward, but well, we'll see. We'll see if I need to add a little bit more with the big brush. Meow, meow, meow. A little cat fight going on in the staircase. Just to dry a smidge. Well, I mean, even if it's a little wet in the next step, it'll be okay. What will I use next? I'm thinking I'll use one of my, maybe one of these guys next. We're going to kind of make individual boards in amongst our wood grain here. Let's have a look at this one a little closer. So it doesn't have to be in the exact same positions, let's say. So if you look at mine, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 kind of like columns running down. And then the columns I broke into different chunks, different sections. I mean, this one's down here, this one's over here. You could have more columns, less columns, more breaks in the wood or less. But sometimes like less is more, because really the main focus is like the text and the sort of logo there. So yeah, I think, yeah, depending on how big your canvas or paper is, maybe you'll do 3 columns. I'm going to do 4. I'll get my brush wet. If you're still working on your wood grain background, you can hit pause and then press play when you're ready. My thinner brush and black, get some black going here. It helps to put a little water in the black or a little water in your brush. And I like to twirl. I twirl my brush so that way the brush bristles, the brush hairs kind of go back together. They clump together. I'm going to do a line sort of right down the middle of my painting. And it's okay if this line isn't a straight line. This is weathered old wood. There. So, yeah, you can kind of see it there. It's messy. It's not straight. There's thick parts. There's thin parts. Some of it's kind of blending with my brown. That's okay. Right down the middle here. And I'll do 2 more here and here, thus kind of dividing it into 4 columns with 3 lines. This line is the gap between the wooden boards. So that's why it's okay if it's thicker, thinner in some parts. The gaps aren't perfectly even. They don't even have to be evenly spaced. You could have a really thick one, then a really thin one. Yeah, so I've got 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 planks wide, if you will. And then we're going to divide them. So I like to have them in different places, these divides, just for interest. I'll do one kind of here. See, it looks like 2 boards were fastened together to make part of this sign, right? And then maybe we'll go high over here. But again, anywhere, any height, any number. I'm going to go a little lower down here. And then this one was kind of over here. Yeah, like mine don't line up, but if some of yours line up, that's okay. If you want to do, maybe another one right here. That could be one right there. Or anywhere. Mine are wiggly, crooked. It's okay if they're not level, if they're on an angle. That's fine too. All right, so I've got my kind of divides there. I'm going to start working on where I maybe want a knot or 2 or 3 or 4. So here's one. There's kind of a wider one, and they're all throughout. Even like where I intend to have text, there are some there too. Or where I know that there's going to be a broomstick, there's still a knot behind there. Here's a couple close together, a little half C. They could be on the edge, the side. It could be kind of peeking at the top or the bottom. It doesn't have to be in like a nice place. And also look at maybe the colors you have going on. Like right here, I've got kind of a grayish patch surrounded by brown. Maybe I'll turn that into a knot. And I think about, when I'm doing the knot of wood, I think about like a leaf shape, a pointed oval, if you will. Oh, the shape of an eye. That's what it reminds me of, the shape of an eye. So my thin brush with a little bit of black. They don't have to be symmetrical. They don't have to be even. And then you can add some like lines around it as if the wood had to kind of grow around that knot. Because a knot, I believe, is where a branch was growing out of. I think that's what makes sense. So there's kind of a start of a knot there. Where else? You could just invent wherever, or pick spots that look like kind of like the start of a knot. Anyway, like this one, this darkish area. That could be a knot. And we'll add some white to it. We can add other colors to make it stand out more. A little water on the brush with the paint helps make kind of smoothish lines. Where else? Like literally anywhere. A light patch, a patch that's a little lighter than the rest. That could be a knot. they don't all have to be thin. They could have smaller, rounder ones. Let's see, 1, 2, 6, 7. Like this one has sort of like 6 or 7. Not too many, but again, just depending on your tastes, your size of your painting, any number is okay. Maybe a little half one on the side. It's like 7-ish. Maybe a little half C right here. Wispy lines. It's starting to look more woodish. All right. I think I'll rinse my brush and I'll add a little bit of white. Oh, good morning to Melly. Welcome. So I've got my brush. I'm going to get a little water, a little white. Maybe I'll put some white lines next to some of my black lines, kind of emphasize these knots. A little more contrast. And even if maybe some of the white and the black touch each other and becomes gray, that's fine. We do have some gray in here. Yeah, just wispy, nothing too thick. We want this to dry quickly. Yeah, a little white, I think, helps brighten, more texture even. And then throughout all the boards, we can add black, white, gray, anything you want, more brown, just to give it like even more texture. Let's say you have like a really dark area. Like here's pretty dark right at the top here. What if I break it up a little bit with some white lines, wispy lines? And I can go in with black as well, more brown. Yeah, thin lines here and there. But I'm not going to like go over any of the black gaps. Don't paint over any of those. We want the black gaps to stay black. And yeah, some of my white is turning a little brownish because there's definitely wet brown hanging about. Yeah, break up some of those thick, dark areas with some lighter colors. If you have any very light areas, break that up with some darker stripes. Streaky is good, texture good. Even the little bumpies that you get from the texture of the canvas itself, those are good. It's all going to help with the illusion that this is a weathered sign outside of the pub. White. Yeah, starting to come together. I'm gonna wash that off and get some black going, a bit more black. But like, let's look at this for a second. Look how, like this corner, I've blackened this corner to make it seem like this board is like its own thing compared to this board or this board. Right here, I've added some more black kind of streaking up to kind of make it seem like this board and this board are completely different entities. Yeah, we kind of want to separate some of these boards too. Nope, I'm going all crazy on an angle here. Crazy thing. This was the highest angle I could get the camera. Yeah, so maybe here I have some black coming down. You can use, I'm still using the thin brush, but if you wanted to go back to your bigger or medium one, add some streaks and things in wider bands, that would work. Water, again, some water mixed with my paint just makes it flow easier, I think. Yeah, just kind of, if I want to kind of define these two boards, I just kind of put my brush here and kind of flick up. So it seems like this board is kind of dark, maybe rotting at this end. But it's a completely separate board than this one. And this is a great background technique for any other paintings you might want to try. What if you did a kind of a reddish themed barn board technique, and then you did some beautiful sunflowers in front of it as the subject? Do any colors, any number of boards, and then add any subject you want. A bicycle, some people. Yeah, that's looking good. There's really no wrong thing you could add here. I could literally just get some paint on my brush and drop my brush accidentally and be like, oh, yeah, that's part of the wood now. That hole in the wood is part of it now. You know, I could put paint on my brush and close my eyes and do some streakies wherever I want. I'm closing my eyes, like literally streakies wherever I want. There's no wrong way here. There we go. I open my eyes. There's, oh, that's a nice one there. Yeah, I'm not mad at this. This is a hole in the sign. It happens. A bug got at it or something. What else? Do you want to add more gray? Do you want to add more brown? Throw in some greens, yellows, reds. Favorite house colors? Just thinking out loud. Maybe a little bit more white here and there. We're almost done the background phase. But of course, you can pause and keep working on it for another 2 hours if you want to really make it super duper textured and exactly how you want it. Because we have the ability to pause. There's some whiter, lighter patches here and there. Yeah, I'm liking that. I'm happy with that. Again, look for any thick gobby gobs. I see some gob here. Here's a little gob there. Flatten those out. Flatten them out. I mean, that's a gob from me dropping it on purpose, accidentally. That's good. Beauty. We are going to let this dry a few moments. Hi, Vicky. Yep, it is Chris. Can't you tell by my hands? I also think it says, in the description down below somewhere, paint along with Chris or something. But good ear. Vicky knows me versus Liesl versus Vera. Let's let that dry a moment before we start the logo. The logo of the broomsticks and the lantern, the hanging lantern. While we're letting this dry, you can go grab a snack, grab a drink. I'm going to show you some upcoming events with me. If you've been enjoying my art style or if you've been enjoying my hosting, teaching style, lots of fun stuff coming up. And I'll even give you a sneak peek or two because I do like showing you stuff that I've been working on, but maybe haven't necessarily been released as an event yet. What's coming up? So next week, Thursday, I teach pretty much every Thursday. We're going to do watercolor on Thursday. This is a 2-in-1 event. A cat and a dog splash, I called it. 2-in-1. So you're going to learn how to do both of these watercolors with a little pen. And we're going to do this on Zoom. Tickets are on the website. So a good way to support your favorite online artists that put on free events, a good way to support them if you maybe don't do the tip option, get a ticket to an event that supports us, that is going to put food in our bellies and a roof over our heads to keep doing these free events if you attend 1 or 2 paid events. So this one's coming up next Thursday. You get to do both of these with me. And when you learn the techniques to do these, you could do any animal. You could do your pet in the future in this style. You'll learn these two with me next Thursday. Tickets on the website. The Thursday after that, the 16th of March, so one day before St. Patrick's Day, we're going to do this fun little leprechaun themed painting. It's in acrylic, so maybe acrylic is more your thing. On Zoom, I called it 4 Lucky Friends. They're coming back with their haul of treasures. They got a sack full, a whole wheelbarrow full of treasure. There's that, leprechaun kind of cauldron that you see at the end of the rainbow, a sack of gold there. You're going to love the background of this. We're going to do it with our fingers. It's so much fun. And we actually start this painting on a black background. So whether you have a black canvas or you take a white canvas and paint it black before the event, we're going to start it on a black canvas, something different. Tickets on the website, March 16th, 4 Lucky Friends. After that, March 23rd, Maybe some of you know this, maybe some of you don't. I am pregnant right now. I've got babies and nurseries on the mind. So I painted this cute watercolor. I called it Owls for the Nursery. I just thought it'd be cute to, you could make this for a friend, for yourself, to put up in a nursery. Isn't that adorable? You're going to hand draw these fun cartoon owls in any style. Everyone has their own style. And we're going to fill it in with watercolors. But you could do this in any medium. What about colored pencils? That would be adorable. You could turn this design into maybe a greeting card, a baby shower card. That would be adorable. Alice asked what kind of pens we use. So this one has watercolor and pen. And then the cat and the dog also had watercolor with pens. There's some pen, you see that there? That's a good question. There's so many pens out there. Let me show you what I use. Let me get some. Let's see, what are my most popular? My faves. I'll show you my 4 faves, let's say. Black permanent pen. So I've got these Le Pen. These are permanent, different sizes. Those are great. Those are waterproof. I think these are the most popular. Pigma Micron pens. The kind of beige pens that everyone's using. Micron pens by Sakura. Very popular. You get different sizes. Those are waterproof. Sharpie. Sharpie puts out pens and markers. This is a felt tip pen by Sharpie. It is permanent. That's a good pen. And then I got these off Amazon. It's Amazon Basics permanent marker, ultra fine point. Yeah, even I even have a, where's my Sharpie? Amazon puts out some interesting, useful, this is the Amazon Basics Sharpie. Give Sharpie some competition. Those are the pens I like to use in my watercolor work. Let me show you one more coming up in March, and then I'll show you some sneak peeks. So this one is March 30th, very end of March. I'm going to start a new series. It's going to be called Animal Artists Series. So our first installment will be, wait for it, Pablo Picasso. So I took kind of Picasso's style and made it kind of a pig. You can see nostrils, there's eyes, there's big ears, but that kind of cubist, colorful, kind of disjointed look. Pigcasso will be the first installment of the Animal Artist series. In the future, I was brainstorming different puns. My son came up with Andy Warthog. That'd be hilarious. What about Claude Monet? See what I'm going with there? So that's the start of our Animal Artist series, March 30th. Tickets on the website. Let me show you 2 sneak peeks. Let me show you. This one's coming up April 13th, so after Easter. You know what? I don't even have an official title for this one. Well, we have the date, but we don't have the title. What do you think the title should be? I was thinking bumming around at the mall, or I was thinking we'd rather be shopping. I think someone else came up with the title Mall Rats. I just thought it was fun and funny, colorful. Yeah, so April 13th, I'm hoping to do this event. It will be on Zoom. Tickets will be on the website, but that's brand new. Haven't posted that yet. I guess once I get the title, we can post that. And then for the other sneak peek, the last thing I'll show you before we get back to this, which is drying nicely. Such a sneak peek. This is a behind the scenes look at the work in progress. I've never shown a work in progress before, but I think I'm far enough and the sketch is there that you can kind of figure out what it is. This will be the next free event right here on YouTube Live in about a month, so before Easter. What do you think we're going to be painting? You can see the sketch kind of, you can see me sort of starting to fill it in. It is bunny butts. There's the bunny's butts. And I'm going to paint them in the colors of hyacinth flowers. And then we've got the hyacinth flowers that they're kind of burrowing into. I think that'll be fun. Pastel-y colors for Easter. And it's just funny. This will be part of the butt series. So this will probably be April 6th, before Easter. Ooh, Leslie said fashion friends. I like it. Jared said butt shopping. I like it. Maybe there's a play on words with like but first shopping with the butt. I don't know, something there. Let's see. Alice says, what size? Yeah, so it really depends on the amount of space you have to work with. So I have a lot of space here I'm in my dining room. I use a 16 by 20 canvas when I'm doing any canvas work, 16 by 20 generally, but any size canvas, maybe even a 9 by 12 would be a nice size painting. But yeah, any size canvas. And then for the watercolor things I've been showing you, I do them quite big. This is an 11 by 15, quite a big watercolor painting. But a lot of people do a lovely 9 by 12 in a nice sketchbook. There's watercolor sketchbooks you can get, nice 9 by 12. But yeah, 11 by 15 is generally how big I do those. Good questions. Let's get back to this. Mine's pretty dry. Even if it's still a little wet, we're going to add broomsticks, and broomsticks are going to be brown. They're going to be the same colors we've been using. So even if it smudges a little bit, not the end of the world. It's not like we're painting orange on top of blue and then we get a gucky brown color. We're painting brown on top of brown. That's fine. 3 broomsticks in the shape of a triangle. Triangle shape, lantern hanging down there. I'll probably use this thin guy just to start kind of the sketch of the 3 broomsticks. And then maybe I'll use kind of my medium brush to kind of fill in the bushy broom. But whatever size brush works for you and the size that you're doing. Let's look at this a little closer. Any style broomsticks. You know how many different broomstick styles are in the Harry Potter movies? There's really sleek ones. There's knobbly old ones. Any kind of broomsticks you want to do. Curved, like maybe some ergonomically curved broomsticks for your riding comfort, or straight ones. I've got kind of older ones, a little bit curvy, really bushy on the broom part, but literally any style you want to do. Any color. They could be all black. That would be very dramatic. Get my brush wet. What do we have? I've got some brown from before. Do I want it that color? Do I want it lighter? Maybe a little red in there. What is that, chunky? Get out of here, you chunky. Any color brown. Remember, we had orange to start, and then we added some blue, some black to make the brown. If you have no more brown left, make orange, and then add some black, some blue. Yeah, a little more red, a little bit redder. Let's see here. A little more water. I like a little water. Keep it nice and fluid. And I've been talking a while. It's kind of dried up a little bit. Thank you, Vicki. So I mentioned I am pregnant right now. However, some people might not know this. I'm a surrogate, so it's not my baby. Literally not my egg, not my baby. I am a surrogate for another couple. Isn't that interesting? A triangle. So let's go. You can kind of make a little dot where you want like the top of the triangle to be, to kind of guide you. Maybe I want the top of the triangle to be boop right there, a little dot for yourself. And then maybe 2 little dots where you want the bottom corners of your triangle to be. just to guide you, leave some room for the text, the words. Let's go maybe here, a little dotty. And let's go maybe right here, another little dotty. And then we'll start making broomsticks out of that. So I'll have one broomstick. Remember, they could be curvy. They don't have to be straight. And we're going to add other colors to this to make them pop. We're going to add black. We're going to add white. We're going to add yellow. So the brown is just the first color. The broomstick handle could be thick, thin. It could have a knobby end. So that's kind of where the first one will be. Where will the bristles be? Stylize them how you like. Really fat, bushy broom, more sleek. Yeah, that's a good start. Even if my paint's a little see-through, you can see the black through the brown, that's okay. We're going to add more colors to distract. Let's do another broom. So this one's coming down. And mine kind of overlap each other. They could overlap or they could not, up to you. Every broom will be different. Let's go this way. So yeah, the brooms like this one goes this way, then this way, then this way. So each corner has a handle of one, but then also the bristles of another. I think it just makes sense that way. I think brooms could be as individual as wands, right? They are kind of matched to a particular wand. Why can't it be that way with brooms too? Is it a perfectly even triangle? No. Does it have to be? No. And you can kind of make them as thick as you want, as thin as you want. I would assume taller wizards would have a longer broom. Does that make sense? Yeah, so that's just a basic coat of brown. Some of it's a little see-through. I'm not worried yet. And yeah, if I look closely, it's not all smooth, beautiful, crisp lines. My lines are blobbly. Look at this blobby blob. They're not all beautiful. It's the impression of brooms. Keeping in mind this sign hangs, up high on the pub. People aren't, going, oh, this is all blobby paint. No, they're just looking at the general effects. Okay, so I've got some brown going. Let's get a little black. So we have our lantern in the middle. Our lantern's in the middle of the brooms. So imagine the light is shining outward. So the shadowy side of each broom will vary. It'll be on the outside of each broom is the shadow side of the broom, because we're picturing the light source in this case is the middle, which is unusual. So let's take that first broom I did. I'm going to paint some black on the left side. It could be blobby, it could be thick, thin, broken lines, just some black on the sort of left side of the handle, and also sort of the left side of the bristles, the brush. keeping it to the left. Because we'll have the lighter highlighted on this right side here, this underside, because the lantern's here. Just makes sense. Same with this guy here. The broom will be darker, facing away from the lantern. So in this case, it's the right side of the broom. And keeping in mind, you can hit pause whenever you want to kind of fine tune yours. I do paint fast. I paint or draw almost every day, so it's just kind of like muscle memory. My hand just does it. But you have the ability to pause, take your time, perfect it as much as you like. I just kind of like that kind of impressionism, blobby, wispy. Yeah, so as we add shading, highlights, it'll start to look more 3D. So there's some black around all three brooms. Now I do have sort of a, I don't know what you would call that area, kind of where the bristles are bound to the stick and maybe it's wrapped tightly with like a twine of some kind to keep it on there. You know what I mean? I do want to have that. So we just kind of make that up. So maybe in this kind of area, I make kind of a rectangle-y shape. But I'm not going to add that side. That'll be the highlighted side, right? So I'll do that again here. Like the neck of the broom, the throat of the broom. I don't know what you would call that area. It's okay if it's wispy or if it's messy. Yeah, there's some black in the bristles. I'm happy with the amount of black I have so far. I'm going to rinse that. Give that a little rinse. Let's do the opposite, but with white. White. So again, I put a little water in the brush, a little water in the white, kind of mix it around with some water. I twirl my brush to get the bristles like back together. And this time we're adding white to the inner side of each broomstick, the side that's facing the lantern. So again, it could be broken lines, it could be thick, it could be thin. But whatever you do, it's the side that's facing inward. And some of my white is turning brown because my brown is still wet. That's okay. It's giving it a nice kind of middle tone, a medium tone. So look at just with this broom here, with the brown, with the black, with the white, it's already looking more 3D instantly, just by adding those two colors. Let's do that on all three. The inner side is the highlighted side. Some of it is turning brown. That's okay. I mean, even if some of the white and the black touch and turns a little gray, beautiful, a little medium tone there too. Okay. So I've got white on all three. I will add just some strokes of white in that little neck area just to seem like it's wrapped, bound with something. Maybe it's twine. Yeah, little white stripes. Flick, 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 flick. Already seems like it's wrapped with something. So we got black, we got white. We will add some yellow. Let's let the white dry a moment. What about, like, let's say some of your brown is still pretty see-through and you can see a lot of your background texture through your brown. I'm going to get a little more brown, maybe a little smudge of white in with the brown. Let's put some of that kind of in the middle there. I'm putting brown on top of brown. It is true. We're just trying to hide some of that background. So with the little bit of white I added to that brown, it's just helping with the coverage. Just a little. But if your first coat of brown was pretty good coverage, then you don't have to add more, or you could add like maybe a little bit of reddish brown, because I'm sure there's different brooms of different woods. You can make all three slightly different. One's darker brown, one's redder, one's yellower, maybe one's gray. You can have a gray broom. Black, I did mention all black broom. Okay, so that little bit of brown with a little bit of white in it just helped with some of the coverage. Hardly noticeable. It's noticeable to me. Let's add a little yellow, as if this beautiful yellow lantern casting a beautiful yellow glow outwardly. I do lots of yellow here, but I want to add some white with the yellow. My particular yellow is very see-through. If I just put just straight yellow on there, it'd be very see-through. But if I go a little yellow to a little white, maybe like a 1-to-1 yellow to white, it'll still be very yellow, 1-to-1. And we just need a little bit of it. Again, I like to get a little water. I like to twirl my brush in the paint. And this yellow could be on top of your white, next to your white. I'm just making the white areas seem a little yellowy, glowy. Just a little hit. Can the camera even see? I think so. It's more noticeable in real life, but this is yellow along here versus this is still just white. I think the camera can detect the difference, but it's close. It's awfully close. It doesn't have to be covering all your white. It could just be little hits here and there. Yellow in the brush bristles, yellow in the neck portion. Yeah, so this logo and this logo are ending up looking a little different. That's okay. Yours at home will be even different from that. Like, I can't even make mine exactly the same both times. I don't expect you to make yours a carbon copy of mine. I think I'm just a little bit more delicate today. that's fine. If I painted this tomorrow as well, it'd be even different then. Okay, and then it sounds weird, but I added some random black brush strokes kind of loosely around for fun. Black on the brush, wispy, kind of next to just imperfect little wisps. Is it shadow? Not really. Little wispies. You don't have to do that if you want to have it nice and crisp. That's fine too. Hardly noticeable. Like, I mean, you probably didn't even notice these little wispies on the original. There's one there. Maybe it's just like weathering. Okay, that's good. Let's do our cute little lantern. I'm just reading Valerie's question about the color. Maybe she meant brown. Brown is orange, plus little blue, little black, depending on how your orange mixes with those. Sometimes add a little white too to make it lighter. Okay, let's do a lantern. Now your lantern doesn't have to look like this. Any style of lantern that you want to do, like literally any style. I'm going to start with, let's do the yellow, and then we'll outline it with the frame of the lantern, I guess. I'm going to use yellow plus white again, because if I just put like plain yellow, I'll show you. If I just put plain yellow right on here, I can see every little thing through it, and that's no good. But I have that yellow plus white. Yellow plus white is good. You see the difference? Yellow plus white, it's covering what's underneath. And if it's not like yellow enough, we can always add pure yellow afterwards. That's fine too. My lantern is, I don't know what shape you would describe that as. Let's go with like a stretched octagon. If you took an octagon and, no, octagon? Yeah, like a stop sign, but stretched out. Again, this could be a little bit messy. It doesn't have to be the most geometrically perfect lantern you ever made. Going for the impression of a lantern. Yeah, so that's my yellow plus white combo. The lighting is really washing out. I've got a bunch of lights. This looks white right here. It is yellow. Yeah, so that's a nice yellow. Later on, when that's a little dry, you can add just like pure yellow to really yellowify it, if you want it yellower. Nice and thin, no thick gobbies. We don't want gobbies here. That's good. Give that a little rinse. My lantern has a little roof, a little hat on it, and then a kind of a bottom edge, and then a little spindly guy hanging down at the bottom. But any kind of lantern will work here. I'm going to get some black first, even though it looks very gray in the end, because I added some white and it went a little gray. But we'll start with black. Give him a little hat. So that. Mine kind of goes out a little bit. And then a nice triangle hat. Nice and smooth, no thick gobs. Doesn't have to be this shape, could be any shape you want, maybe like more of a rounded top. Totally. And then I did like a bigger circle for like where it attaches to the chain. And then some little chain links that kind of disappear behind the brooms. Little chain link. Doesn't have to be perfect. I'll lift that up. So I did a kind of a big ring and then some little rings for the chain. And I'll do a little black along the bottom here. Just a little edge, and then a little, what would you call that? Little spindly thing on the bottom. Any design. Mine comes to like a little point, but doesn't have to. So it's very black right now. We're going to add some white, mess it up a little bit. While I have black on my brush, I'll just kind of wipe that a little bit. I will put some, like these little marks I made around the brooms. I'll put some of these marks around here. Optional, just messy little brush strokes. I will put, so the glass of the lantern has these, I guess, supports. Mine are turning a little bit gray because the black and the yellow are mixing. That's all right. I'm cool with that. Yeah, this one's a little like longer, taller than this guy. Yours could be wider, more ornate. I'm going to get some white and just hit it with some highlights. And it's okay if the white and the black kind of turn a little grayish. Let's kind of define this. Like there's different panels, I guess, of this lid. Yeah, some of it is definitely turning gray. A little hit of white here and there. The lantern's kind of odd because it's its own light source. So it's like, how do you highlight this bottom bit if it's its own light source? A little closer. A little bit of white. It's messy. It's the impression. I'll even add a little white on those middle little support frame bits. A little white here. Just so it's not so black. It's very black. A little white. It's messy. Maybe even on this ring a little bit. It's okay that it's messy. I can even put, I'll put some white, just some plain white in the lantern. The yellow, it's so bright, it's white. Some white in there. You can get some of the pure yellow going. Yeah, I'm happy with that. My lines aren't straight. That's okay. It's aged. It's rustic. That's the word. It's rustic. If people are like, why is your lantern crooked? It's rustic. Oh, okay, I get it. Hello to Patty in Uruguay. Sweet. Welcome. Okay, so we've got the lantern, we got the brooms. Really, it's just the wording. Let's set this down. Now you can do your lettering with the paint. Just take it slow with a thin brush and a steady hand. I'm gonna do the old, you can do Sharpie for the black. You could totally do mixed media here. Get some paint pens, get some markers, put a Sharpie on there. I'm gonna use my acrylic paint pens. Shake those up. With these paint pens, you kind of have to like activate them, get them going, dab, dab, dab. Get them flowing. That's pretty good. That's good. Okay, yeah, this is all dry. But, I mean, even if this is still wet, we're putting black on top of it. Even if the black blends with some of the other colors, it's just going to look black in the end. So you could take a ruler and a pencil and mark the line where you want to put the wording, the 3 broomsticks, what is it, pumpkin juice, butterbeer, ruler and pencil. And the pencil, like, you'll be able to see it in front of you because it's a little bit shiny. If I did this right now, I don't think the camera would pick up the pencil lines, but you'd be able to see it if you were doing it to your own painting. Where's my tape? I think I'll use some tape to help me with a straight line. Let me stand up here. This is just like a thinner masking tape. Now, if your tape is very sticky, I like to put it on my shirt. Just rub it on my shirt, de-stickify it. So I'll put some words up here. And you can just like lightly press it down. You don't have to like press it down to stay there forever. It's just going to be there for a few minutes. De-stickify. As level as I can get it. Let's go with that. And then I'll do pumpkin juice and butterbeer below. Or something different. What about, I don't know, what are some delicacies that you would have at your pub in the Potter world? Rip. There we go. So, like, this is the point where you could do this lettering on your own. You could put on some Netflix and binge some Netflix as you do your lettering, because you really don't need to watch me do every single letter to get the gist of it. All right. It doesn't even have to be in this arrangement. What if you want to do the 3 broomsticks in a curve? Totally. I would get something circular and trace a curve. That could be cool. Or someone's name, someone's pub name, you know. Amanda's the 3 broomsticks. You could put the word pub. What if you want the 3 broomsticks pub? That's an option. What about other things? You could go established. When was that established? 1289. I don't know, making stuff up. All right, bring that a little closer to me. I kind of made a little tick mark where like the middle of the words are. So if you counted out the characters, including spaces, the T is kind of the middle. So usually I'll start with the middle letter first and build out. But that's just me. So here is my wonderful paint marker. Oh, it's hard to tell on the black. Or any font you want to do. It doesn't have to be this kind of Celtic font. That's why I chose it, because a lot of pub signs are in a Celtic sort of font. So there's a T. It's tough to see because it is quite black in this region. Let's do the H, and then you can maybe see it a little better. This does not have to be perfect. Think about someone in the Potter world had to hand letter this sign at some point. Potentially, maybe they used a spell. But I'm picturing they maybe hand lettered this at some point. Yeah, I'm referencing the printout, or you can reference it, on your phone or whatnot. Some parts are thick, some parts are thin, but you don't have to exactly recreate that. If it's a little different, that's okay. Just kind of the Celtic look is kind of nice, I thought. Or use any style lettering. Again, you can totally switch me off, mute me, and just do your lettering peacefully on your own time. I find to get nice, steady lines, rest your hand right on the surface. If you're kind of hovering, it's going to be kind of a little wiggly. Rest it. Have a steady, supporting hand, and you will have lovely results. You know, is this E exactly the same as this E? Not really. It doesn't have to be. So yeah, I mean, the black lettering looks okay, but try outlining it with white. I think adding the white outline just makes it pop. Seems more legible. Yeah, look at that T compared to the rest of the word. This pops. What other things could we add to this? So I mentioned you could add like a established in such and such year, maybe an important year for yourself, someone's name, different menu offerings, let's say, not just pumpkin juice and butterbeer. It's bold. It pops. Let's add the. And, you know, mine, this isn't perfectly centered. This will probably not be perfectly centered. Yours doesn't have to be either. I am going to work backwards. I'll do the E, then the H, then the T. That's just how I work. You can work how you like to work. Big T. There we go. The 3. I'm gonna try Sharpie, see what kind of coverage my Sharpie gives me. Broomsticks, I kind of judged the S as kind of the middle-ish. Let's go. These words and these words don't have to be the same height even. If you want the emphasis on broomsticks, it could be like this big. It's tall, maybe all caps. Oh yeah, I like The Sharpie gives good coverage too. The paint pens, I think, glide better. I don't know. There's nothing wrong with a mixed media painting. I like this. This lowercase t is kind of cool. Almost like a backwards J. The I doesn't have a dot, but you can add a dot if you like. So yeah, after the lettering, it's pretty much just sign it and it's done, but I would love to see the results. I think we all would. We have a wonderful Facebook group. It's called Artist Palette Painting/Drawing Support Group. I think maybe some of us tuning in now are already part of that group. It's just a lovely, supportive little community. We share these tutorials. We share images of maybe your own original stuff. It doesn't have to be something that we've taught you. I love seeing artwork that people have made based on things they've learned from our tutorials. So if someday in the future you use this barn wooden sort of background in one of your paintings, because you learned it here tonight, I would love to see that. Did I put the link in the description? I can't remember if down below in the description of this video, I think I might have put the link to that Facebook group. Please feel free to join us there and share this painting, other ones. The 3 sticks, that's what it's called. Okay, is this is dry? Yeah, so my whole broom lantern situation is dry. So I could put my hand right on here to do the rest of the lettering. If anyone questions, why your letters aren't perfectly even, why they're not centered, it's rustic look. Just tell them that. Let's say you make a mistake, you misspell something. Just tell them that's how they spell it over there. That's the Harry Potter way of spelling something. Yeah, I can't tell if I like the paint pen or the Sharpie better. with a white outline. This, it's okay. Gotta outline it. Thank you, Valerie. Valerie had some very kind words in the chat there. I mean, this part is not exactly riveting stuff, but it has to be done. Yeah, I can't wait to see the pictures you guys post. Especially if you add your own little flair to it. A little something extra. I'd love to see that. Okay, we got the 3 broomsticks. Let's do some featured menu items. Pumpkin juice, butterbeer. What else do they have? Some pasties. Or you could put like something like no dragons allowed or something. This isn't straight. Where is it straight? Maybe like that. Sure, call that straight. Pumpkin juice. Let's go here. Those of you who maybe printed this out or are maybe referencing it from your device, does that help having kind of like a clean version of text to work with versus like trying to follow here? I think having the clean version with no distractions, I think helps. And I think that's a method that I'll use in the future if there's some text that we're going to do. Because I know it's helping me. I keep looking back and forth. You even put it right next to it as you do each letter. I guess any font that you want to do in the future on any painting, go into like a Word document, find the font you want and the words you want, print that out in any size. You could do real big, and just have that next to you as you go as a reference, and then you can reference it. So, and I often trace too. There's nothing wrong with tracing either. Ah, good old kin juice. Yum. Anything that's kind of dipping below, I'll do that after I lift my tape. The P's, the J is going to dip below. So I'll just do that once I remove the tape. That should be easy enough. This might be a fun activity for like a Harry Potter themed party. You get the supplies for all your friends, have them over, put on this very tutorial video. Everyone follows along. That would be cute. Or, you know, make a sign for a Harry Potter theme party. All right. Last wording, butterbeer. You've definitely lost some viewers along the way, but I don't blame them. This is kind of a dry portion of the tutorial. Okay, so let's go R, sort of the middle. Again, it doesn't have to be the same size. What if you really want to feature butterbeer? Make it real big. Let's see how big I can make it. I'd like to try a butterbeer sometime. I'm certain they have maybe some kind of a butterbeer recipe online that I could whip up. I don't know if I've bit off more than I can chew by making this R so big. Well, we'll see how I do. I did it to myself. That's for sure. Yeah, that's real big. Yeah, here's more normal. This one's more normal. This I'm going big for some reason here. Something different. Okay. It'll fit. It'll fit. Yeah, these I like these teas. They're kind of unique, these teas here. Starting to run out of room. I will squeeze it in. It might be awkward. Okay, it got a little awkward and squishy at the end, but I'm okay with that. I'm gonna finish with the white and then we'll be done. And look at that, it's 9. I usually plan for like about 2-hour tutorials. If you did keep up with me this whole way, wow, kudos to you. But there's something to be said for taking your time and really really enjoying it, fine-tuning it. It's just as much about the process as it is the final product. I want to say thank you to those who did stick with us this whole time and for tuning in. Maybe today you aren't doing the actual painting, but picking up helpful tips and kind of getting the overview before you actually do it yourself. And, don't forget to like the video. Don't forget to subscribe to our page. When you subscribe, then you get notifications when we go live. So maybe you haven't checked out our Facebook page for when our live events are, but YouTube will let you know. We do 1 or 2 free events a week. But a way to support us, if not through a tip once in a while, is through getting tickets to our Zoom events. If you've never been to one of our Zoom events, they're quite fun. It's more, not one-on-one, but it's definitely like a smaller crowd. You have the ability to ask questions along the way, even show me your work along the way in a Zoom, so I can give you some pointers or just see your progress as we paint together through Zoom. There we go. Ta-da! Is it exactly the same as my first one? Nope. But pretty close. But again, don't compare. Don't compare. This one's beautiful, kind of warmer. I think this one's a little bit warmer. Got some good texture. Ooh, what can I do with this paint pen? I could add even more lines, texture. Yeah, what about the black? We could add black paint pen, more lines, make more knots. Nothing wrong with that. Yeah. What about you could add a certain house emblem, whatever your Harry Potter house may be. Anything else? I'm going to add my initials. I like to just add the initials somewhere. Let's kind of sneak it in here. You can hide it right in here. You can go bottom corner. You can do your whole autograph. What about the year? You can put the year in there. Yeah, anything you want. Anything at all. Super. I am looking very much forward to seeing your versions of this pub sign. Please do share. You could even private message us, email us if you don't want to share publicly. That's absolutely fine. Any questions from me before I let you go? And of course, this live stream will go right to our channel immediately after this, so you can go back, watch a certain point, paint at all tonight. Maybe you watched this whole time. Any questions at all? Type in that live chat now or email us, message us directly. We'd love to hear from you. This would look cute in like maybe some blues in the background, and then the yellow, just like pop of yellow against like blues. Would look cute. I'm happy with that, yeah. And it's because I used the marker and the paint pen. It's all dry already. All right. Jared says he did keep up with me. And I believe you, Jared. You're usually like right on it. Sometimes even ahead of me, I've noticed sometimes in the Zoom. He's a natural. Okay, I don't see any questions rolling in. But yeah, any questions or comments, please feel free to contact us. Perhaps I'll see you in a future YouTube Live. Please do say hi. So the next one will be that Easter bunny, the bunny butts, I want to say April 6th, if that's a Thursday. So we'll see you right back here for that with me, or maybe we'll see you in a Zoom event. Love to see you there too. All right, I'll sign off. Happy painting, guys. Happy St. Patrick's Day. Maybe you're watching this closer to St. Patrick's Day in the future. Take care now. Bye now.